Bumblebee. Rebuilt into a new, more powerful form, Bumblebee attacks life and the Decepticons with a newfound confidence. His enhanced speed, armor, and strength all combine to make him the warrior he's always wanted to be, but he remains devoted to his human friends and the Autobot ideal of freedom.
Welcome back to eBEFOREi Video Reviews. Today I'm taking a look at a figure that's just about to hit retail. This is Transformers Generations IDW series Bumblebee. Now I know what you're thinking, another Bumblebee? I mean, how many Bumblebees have you seen in your local stores? Even now, how many Bumblebees are sitting there on pegs, warming the shelf? But that's okay, because this one might actually be cool. This is part of the Transformers 30th anniversary, celebrating, well, 30 years of Transformers. And so that's a big milestone for the company. And, you know, it looks like they just might have put some time and thought into these figures. And I'll tell you, I really hope that they did, because it's about time that we got a Bumblebee that's not just going to be another peg warmer, but something that's actually worthy of being a part of your collection again. I mean, how long has it been since a Bumblebee has been worthy of your collection? Before we get started, let's take a quick look at the box. So this is a brand new type of box here, and it actually includes a comic. Since this is part of the IDW series of Transformers, some great comics by IDW, and you can see the fantastic artwork of Bumblebee. So as I mentioned, the comic book's included. This is the comic book. The figure itself is packaged in robot mode. He's got a highly photoshopped picture of the vehicle mode. 30th anniversary, ages 5+, Autobot Bumblebee by Hasbro on the side of the box. He's from the second series, figure number 4. You've got a big half of an Autobot symbol there. On the back of the box, you've got the bio that I just read to you. You have Bumblebee in his robot mode, in his vehicle mode, and his robot mode, sports car mode as they call it, and Stinger blasters combined. Good to know. His technical specs, his strength is a, oh, you're going to make me do this. Where's my ruler? His strength is a 6. His intelligence is an 8, speed is an 8, endurance is 7, rank is 7, courage is a 10. Because it's Bumblebee. Fire blast is a 6, and his skill is a 6. On the bottom of the box, they're trying to sell you Orion packs and Trail Cutter. Each sold separately in case you think they actually packed them into this small box. They didn't. So anyway, that's a quick look at the box. We'll go ahead and open them up. We'll take a look at the figure. We'll transform him, show you how to put him into his modes, and actually take a quick look at the comic book as well. Let's get started. Here we have Bumblebee unboxed, and I went ahead and transformed him into vehicle mode. And let me say off the bat that Bumblebee really, you know, I've seen some reviews out there, and he's not really getting quite enough credit as I think he deserves. I've had some time to play with him. I've transformed him a few times, and he's really, I think, an amazing figure. So anyway, that's just a little piece of my review. Let's get into some more detail and look at his vehicle mode up close. All right, so he's a muscle car, and he's got muscles and stuff. But anyway, the neat thing about Bumblebee is that finally we have a deluxe scale Bumblebee that has decent paint. So you have, and as a Hasbro release, he has paint in the wheels, which is always a good thing. You've got black paint up here. The front's real nicely done with the silver right there, and kind of a mocha gray, if there's no such thing as a mocha gray. It's kind of a smoke gray, gunmetal gray. Zebra gray, monkey gray, charcoal gray, chicken gray. Any is the type of gray. You got the yellow paint right there on the top. You've got yellow on the roof that kind of carries through. You've got a real nice color for the back windows. I don't love that they painted them, but I understand from a design perspective why they didn't put the translucent windows here. So as is, it looks fine. And as a first in a very long time, you have paint on the back of a Bumblebee. When was the last time that happened? So he's got painted taillights, he's got that kind of gunmetal gray here, same thing underneath, and painted exhaust pipes. So overall, the paint applications on this figure are fantastic. Now, the vehicle itself looks good as well. Again, it's a muscle car. I don't know that this is any type of name brand vehicle, but if I had to guess, it kind of looks like a bit cross between a Charger and something else. I don't know, and maybe someone out there can correct me, but that's what I think it is. Real kind of mean-looking front. Overall, really, really well done. Now, another unique thing about this toy is that in a deluxe scale figure, I am so used to the inside being packed full of robot junk. So it's a robot in disguise, but nobody can drive it because it's full of junk. This one's hollow. So while there's not a steering wheel or anything like that, it's a bit more realistic. I mean, you almost have what looks like the seat backs and a lot of space here, as if an actual human could get in and drive the vehicle. So that's cool as well. Lastly, a neat thing on this vehicle is that the doors actually open. So you untab it just like that, and you can actually open a door. And while that's not necessarily unique to Bumblebee figures, again, it's a nice touch, especially if you're going to display this guy on a shelf. You know, it's kind of a neat look. It's always important to see what's underneath. And there's a robot under there, but it's fairly well hidden. You have his arms that are exposed. His legs or his knee joints are here. The head is not visible. And again, that's also kind of unique to Bumblebee figures. A lot of Bumblebees got a head sitting right there. And due to transformation, it's actually hidden underneath this plate. And so, again, kibble's not bad. Colors look great. There's lots of paint. You got the hollowed out inside. Vehicle mode, I say well done. Now, the weapons that he comes with. He's got these two weapons. And there's pretty nice paint here as well. You've got the yellow paint and the translucent blue plastic. You've got unpainted gray, but it doesn't look bad in the back on both of these. Now, as a robot, these two go together, and they form his weapon, which we'll get into a bit later. As a vehicle, these come apart just like that. You take these tabs, and you push them down, and you can actually tab these on the side of the vehicle. This looks fairly ridiculous, I have to say. But, if you're going to put some weapons on Bumblebee, then why not? It looks fine. I like the fact that they actually spent a few minutes and thought of a way to take a weapon, separate it, and give him a balanced look. So overall, if you like putting weapons on your Transformers, what a geek. No, but I mean, if you like doing that, then it's fine, and it looks good. So there. I don't like that it's unfinished on the inside, but I get why they did it, and now who's the geek? It's me. It's me. Anyway, that's Bumblebee in his vehicle mode. Let's get him transformed into robot mode. It's fairly simple with a mere 72 steps. Okay, there's 10. So you have this giant sheet of instructions right here, and it's almost like they're recycling the Beast Hunter's giant paper. There's no extended bio. You do get a bigger shot of the picture of Bumblebee and a bunch of instructions and such. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to get the doors open. Now, there are tabs on the inside. You can pull them out. You just kind of got to wiggle them free, or you can just try and get in there and unhook the tabs. So go ahead and open the doors on both sides. Stand them up like that. Grab the top parts of the car and sort of pull them out and down. Now, everything tabs in real nice. So again, you just want to get your hand in there, pull them out and down, and you expose the arms. Flip Bumblebee like this. You want to take this piece right here and you want to lift that up. You're going to accordion this part over the shield like that. We're going to go ahead and stand them up again. You're going to split the legs. Now you're going to come in here with your hand and you're going to grab this and you're going to spin this all the way around. Now when you do that, kind of a neat bit of transformation, it forms a kneecap, which is kind of cool, and that's the back of the vehicle. From here you can go ahead and finish the feet. By just taking these bits, you got to untab them first, and then you can pull them down. That could be confusing at first because it is tabbed in there. So you want to grab it out and then flip it down, and you basically have his feet. Now what you want to do is you want to take the front portion of the car and you want to just give it a spin like that. And what you do is you create the shoulder pieces. You can come around to the back and you can basically take this whole section, and there's a little tab right there and a hole right there, and you want to marry those two up and just kind of tab it into place. Now you want to grab this front chest piece and you want to drag this whole thing down, and the whole assembly will come down, including the shoulder bits, and you'll get a head reveal. Let's do that again. Pull it down, head pops up. When you pull it down, it's going to lock into place. A little bit of a snap there, and you know that you've done it correctly. Now you want to leave the shoulders where they are, but you want to come around to the sides and you want to pull down the arms so that the arms hang down and these front pieces of the vehicle are still there for the shoulders. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Bring the arm down just like that. Now you're almost done. What you want to do is you want to come around to the back door panels. You want to accordion them in so it's on a double hinge. Hinge there and a hinge there, and you just want to push it in so you get a bit of an angle on the back door panels. And just like that, you're ready to take Bumblebee and stand him up, pose him up, and here we have Bumblebee in his robot mode. Let's take a closer look. So here he is, and from the front he looks pretty good. I mean, I don't really have any real issues with the way that he looks at a glance. There are some problems with the figure, but I think overall I'm able to get past it. Looking at the specific details, the head sculpt looks pretty nice. It's kind of kiddie, but in a way it's also true to the G1 Bumblebee head, so overall I don't really have any complaints with the way that his head looks. He's got real nice light piping that comes across really well, so the eyes glow a nice shade of blue. There's no bigger fan of an Autobot symbol than me, but what's interesting about this Autobot symbol, and maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, but it almost looks like in order to fit it in there, the dimensions aren't quite right. I could be completely wrong about that, but the bottom half almost looks like it's squished. For comparison's sake, there's the artist rendering of the Autobot symbol, and there he is on Bumblebee's chest, and you can see it's just not quite as long as it should be. Not a deal breaker, but kind of weird. Another oddball thing with Bumblebee, again from the front it looks pretty good. When you come in down like this though, there's a lot of just, there's some hollowness and kind of shoulder football pads. It's almost like you've got these kind of curved bits on the top, and it kind of has a weird look to it. Again, from the front it looks fine, but from certain angles it looks a little janky. I like the way his shoulders look in theory. I like the way the doors look from the front angle. One of the other flaws of this figure, though, is if you want to get any type of arm movement, the door panel isn't engineered to stay put because it's all connected to this one piece, and you don't have any movement in this portion of the arm. So you can flip the arm up, because that's on a nice swivel joint right there, but it brings the door panel underneath his arm, and it just looks funny. So if you want to put him in any kind of pose, it's just going to look off. Paint applications carry over into robot mode fairly well. Again, there's nice detail in the face, with the silver paint on the face itself and on the sides and top of the horn there. You've got silver paint in the middle, the Autobot symbols, albeit squished. On the front, you've got silver where the car bits were. On the sides, and this was completely hidden in vehicle mode, but you've got a nice yellow painted on the side of the forearms. My only complaint is that it doesn't match the yellow on the rest of the figure. It's kind of a greenish yellow, whereas the rest of it is just yellow. You've got yellow plastic right here, you've got gray plastic in the legs, and then all the rest kind of carries over from car mode, but it's kind of nicely engineered. And I like how you've got these bits right here that almost look like brake lights, but the brake lights are up here. So then you could say it looks like tailpipes, but the tailpipes are actually right there. So it's just kind of a neat thing that they didn't have to do, and it just kind of makes the figure look real nice. Now, why Hasbro continues to feel the need to not hide parts that come down between a robot's legs, I don't know. That just looks a bit off to me as well. Perhaps it's my own sick nature that sees that, and maybe you don't see a thing. Let's leave it that way. Articulation on Bumblebee is actually pretty decent. The arms are on this swivel and the shoulders move up and down. Now, again, the problem is this door panel keeps flinging around when you move the arms, but overall, you got nice movement. You do have waist articulation, which is nice because that wasn't needed to transform. So it's nice that that was put in there as well. You have a ball joint on the inside of the thigh. You've got a joint there for the arm. Elbow hinge. You have a hinge on the knee joint. The knee cap just kind of floats above, and that's cool. And you've got a real nice ball joint where the foot comes in, and then a hinge right there, so you can get some fairly decent feet articulation. There is no wrist articulation at all, but the hands themselves look pretty nice. Now, the weapons, as I mentioned, can go into Bumblebee's hands, and he can actually hold it a few different ways. You can put it into his hand as just a general weapon, and you can do that on both of his arms. Another nice thing, since this joint right here actually swivels and comes around to the other side, you can actually have him hold it underneath. And it has that real neat kind of slung under the arm cannon look. And so that's pretty cool as well, especially if you get one in each hand. So if there was ever a time that Bumblebee was going to bring the pain, well, that would be it. Now, I'm not going to get too detailed into the comic itself because, for copyright reasons, and this is a YouTube video, I want you really just to dive in and take a look at it for yourself. But it is very cool that we got this, and I'll tell you what, I've gone through a little bit of it, and it's very nice to have in your collection if you're a comic fan. Then it's just a bonus. Then you get this really cool toy and the comic book on top of that. And I'm real happy that they have this whole series with the IDW comics included. The artwork on this is quite superb. It's really, really nice. And here's some size comparisons and some fairly recent toys. This is GDO Cliff Jumper. It's basically first edition Transformers Prime Cliff Jumper with the Classics head. And you can see that they scale pretty nice together. Bumblebee's a little bit taller, and that's fine. Then you have first edition Transformers Prime Bumblebee, which, looking at these guys stacked up, I think is still probably my favorite look in a robot mode for Bumblebee. This guy's a lot more complex to transform, so if you're looking for a Bumblebee that's a bit simpler and a little bit more G1 in the way that he looks, then this one might be the one for you. So that's my review of Transformers Generations IDW Deluxe Bumblebee. Final verdict, I think this figure deserves a bit more credit than he's received. He's not a perfect figure. If you're looking for the perfect Bumblebee, well, this may not be the one for you. But if you're looking for a fun toy, looks fairly good posed up on the shelf, vehicle mode looks great, fairly easy to transform, lots of paint applications, a pretty nice weapon, just an overall nice toy, then this guy fits the bill just fine. Anyway, that's my full review, so thank you again for watching eBEFOREi video reviews. If you like my reviews, tell all your friends about me. You can find all my videos on youtube.com/eBEFOREiNet. If you want to chat with me on Facebook, you can find me at facebook.com/eBEFOREi. And if you're on Twitter, well, hit me up there. I'm at E_before_I. Again, you're the reason I do this. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I'll see you again real soon.